he's not being guarded by anybody. They've got to come down and make a play.
Man, is he cool. A 1-point lead in the third overtime for Texas. Bogan, the inbound, across midcourt. 7 seconds left. Bogan, too far from the basket, gets it up and he made it! A three-pointer! Oklahoma State!
It's a great deal of pleasure for me to have the opportunity to wish you a happy 60th, Bob.
Where does one begin to trace a man's journey? Along the main streets of his youth? Or can the roadmap to a person's heart be read only by those who have walked with and made a person who he is?
Bob, of course, was in the service, and I followed him around. I was riding between cars, and, well, you know, when they're moving the troops, it's nothing like now. I did most of my traveling that way, just standing around and telling some serviceman that I was pregnant and could I have a seat. You know, I mean, there are different ways to do things.
They lived over here on Legion Drive, and there were no homes out there, so the children could roam out there in those fields and have fun. And I'd hear stories about the fun that the children were having out there. He sat in the central part of the classroom, and I could just see, you could tell that he had something he wanted to say. I sometimes call that the wheels are in motion. He was very comprehensive in his discussion of literature. The Prisoner of Chillon by Byron was one that I remember. It affected all of us. His discussions were so significant about the mountains and the trees there in Lake Geneva.
If you could only have one family for friends, the Durhams would have taken the Graalmans. If Mrs. Graalman did it, it was all right. If Mr. Graalman did it, it was all right.
Graal folks never ruffled too many feathers. They seemed genetically inclined to do good by their neighbors, but who can tell if that was always the case? Recently uncovered documents reveal Reverend Edward Graalman, Robert Jr.'s great-grandfather, to be something of a shrewd businessman. As early as 1905, he was purchasing life insurance policies, only to see if he could cash out on them well before their maturation dates.
In reply to your query as to when the policy will mature, policies that are maturing now on the lives of older men who paid a higher premium. Yours truly, W.E. Eschmeschmeiver.
It's difficult to say what an enterprising reverend would do with such a payout, but one thing is certain. Graalmen always had their legacy in mind. The reverend was willing to pay quite a price for the inscription on his tombstone.
I'm not scared of dying, and I don't really care.
I don't know the first thing about theosophy, philosophy, psychology, ideology, or any other ology, but I know this. Christ, you're saved, and without him, you're lost. And how do I know there's a merciful God? Because I've seen the devil plenty of times.
The Reverend's blood coursed through his veins, but young Bobby had a different legacy in mind, one that began 105 miles east in Stillwater.
Once upon a time you dressed so fine, through the bumps of dime in your prime. Then
we were roommates the first semester of our freshman year. To say we were naive and unformed is such a huge understatement. He was the deer in the headlights, and as all of us were, but I mean more so for Bob because he'd come from that small town. He looked so young. This was before the in quotes, eye surgery to help him read better.
One night while we were pledging and set out a walk in the country, Bob had tired. Controlled sleep deprivation was a major tool of hazing, and it had taken its toll on him. It was my greatest moment as a beta pledge to reach out to Bob and help him get home that night.
I was dating this guy who was a beta, and so I met a lot of other betas, and one of them was Bob Graalman, who was really a hunk and so sweet. We tended to pick guys that were a lot of trouble. Needy guys, crazy guys. When I met Bob, I thought, wow, he is such a nice guy, stable guy, a real guy. This guy you could probably marry.
I often wonder, why did you return with me after your first trip on Highway 51, when I took that turn to OKC to see what you would do? Did you think perhaps that State Highway 51 finds heart of the universe?
Such a cozy room, the windows are illuminated by the evening sunshine.
I don't think in this entire world that I could have lucked into, as you call birthing into a family luck, but I don't think I could have lucked into a more perfect situation. I think about all different areas of my life that you have been there for.
Our house is a very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard.
I love you very much. Very, 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 very much.
Easy 'cause of you.
Your hand slips into mine when we clank across the hooded bridge that separates our noisy world from memories and dreams. Shuffling outside the car, we pause, point above, whisper to look where the Milky Way is a smooth and black, another fine, straight, heavenly road from here to there and back. Bob Graalman.
He'll always be Bobby Graalman to me, to an entire town, to an entire region. Most joyfully of all, he is enshrined as Uncle Bobby to nieces Meg and Julia. The name Bobby is endowed with my love and awe for his being Robert Edward Jr., Ph.D., husband, dad, brother, uncle, and friend. Nancy Graalman.
When I left for college, he told me in a letter I still carry with me to this day that the most important thing to do if I ever got stuck in a rut were to go for a walk and to read a good book. I had watched him reading since I was a child, marveling at all the knowledge crammed into his head, hoping someday with my insistent questioning that I'll be able to extract and shove it all into my own brain.
Bob, this is the narrator. I don't know you, but would like to also extend a happy 60th birthday from all your friends in Hollywood.
Bob, I want to also tell you how much I appreciate all you've done for Oklahoma State University. And believe me, I'm 11 years older than you are, and there's still a lot of fun left in your life.
Deckham Staines and Family, Walk and Beauty. R.E. Graalman and Family, Word and Song.
So what were you saying about those two?
Well, one is beauty and the other is song.
Who do you think Staines should have been?
Song!
So you think that he reserved for Graalman? Why did Graalman
It could have been words too.
Why did Graalman get both song and word is what you're saying?
I think he was trying to put it all in one, but you can only get 1 brick per person.
And that's always annoyed you?
No, I'm not saying that.
Only 1 brick per person. If there's anything I've learned from my dad over the years, and if his 60th birthday is any indication, it's that you can fit lots of words onto a single brick, and countless priceless memories into a life well lived.